When powerful people face disrespect, they do not allow the first emotion to make the final decision. An insult may create anger. A public insult may wound their pride. A dismissive tone may make them feel challenged. But they understand that reacting instantly can turn another person's behavior into control over their own actions. If someone can make you lose your temper with a few words, force you to defend yourself with one accusation, or destroy your confidence with one opinion, then they have gained influence over you. This is why powerful people do not measure strength by how quickly they react. They measure it by how completely they control themselves. Most disrespectful situations are designed to create pressure. Someone may interrupt you, mock your ideas, question your ability, speak down to you, or try to embarrass you in front of others. In that moment, your ego may demand a fast response. You may want to prove that you are stronger, smarter, or more important. But powerful people know that a reaction driven by wounded pride often creates a second problem. Anger can make you speak without thinking. It can push you to reveal emotions you would rather keep private. It can make you exaggerate, threaten, or attack. Then the original disrespect becomes less important because everyone is now focused on your reaction. That is why powerful people create a pause. They do not pause because they are weak or afraid. They pause because they refuse to let another person decide the speed of their mind. Even a few seconds of silence can separate emotion from action. During that pause, they observe. They notice what was said, how it was said, who was present, and whether the behavior was careless or deliberate. They ask themselves, what is this person trying to achieve? Are they seeking attention, testing my boundaries, protecting their ego, or trying to provoke me? This calm observation gives them something emotional people often lose. Choice. Powerful people understand that anger is not always the enemy. Anger can reveal that a line has been crossed. It can show that something feels unfair, disrespectful, or dishonest. But anger is information, not instruction. You can feel anger without obeying it. You can recognize that someone behaved badly without becoming careless yourself. The goal is not to suppress every emotion or pretend that disrespect does not matter. The goal is to prevent emotion from taking control of your judgment. This is why calmness can be more powerful than aggression. Many disrespectful people expect a predictable reaction. They expect you to become defensive, raise your voice, argue, or desperately prove your worth. When you remain composed, you refuse to give them the emotional response they expected. Your calmness creates uncertainty because they cannot easily control the direction of the interaction. You are no longer reacting according to their pressure. You are deciding according to your standards. But being calm does not mean accepting disrespect. Powerful people do not confuse self-control with silence in every situation. They know when a clear response is necessary. If a boundary has been crossed, they may speak directly and calmly. Do not speak to me that way. That behavior is not acceptable. We can continue this conversation when it is respectful. They do not need to shout because their strength does not depend on volume. Their words are clear because they are not trying to win an emotional contest. They are communicating a standard. The difference between a powerful response and an emotional reaction is purpose. An emotional reaction tries to release pain. A powerful response protects dignity, clarifies boundaries, and keeps control of the situation. When you react, you may focus on making the other person feel what you felt. When you respond, you focus on what outcome protects your value. This shift changes everything. You stop asking, how can I hurt them back? And begin asking, what action protects my self-respect? Sometimes the strongest response is silence. If someone is trying to provoke you publicly, an emotional argument may give them the attention they want. Refusing to perform can weaken their strategy. But silence is only powerful when it is chosen, not when it comes from fear. Powerful people remain silent because they have decided that the situation does not deserve their energy, not because they believe they have no right to speak. They know they can respond, but they also know they do not have to respond to every insult. Your response to disrespect also shapes how others see you. People may not remember every word spoken during a conflict, but they often remember who remained composed. They notice who could face pressure without losing control. Calmness communicates confidence because it shows that your identity is not fragile. You do not need to dominate every conversation to prove your value. You do not need to become cruel to show that you are strong. You can remain disciplined while making it clear that disrespect has consequences. This level of control requires practice. You may not become calm in every difficult situation immediately. Sometimes you will feel anger before you recognize what is happening. Sometimes you may respond too quickly and later wish you had handled it differently. But power is built through awareness. Each time you pause before reacting, you strengthen your ability to choose. Each time you refuse to let anger control your words, you become harder to provoke. Each time you protect your dignity without losing your discipline, you develop a stronger form of confidence. Powerful people do not allow disrespect to decide who they become in the moment. They refuse to let another person's behavior pull them away from their standards. They remain calm, not because disrespect is harmless, but because their self-control is more valuable than the temporary satisfaction of an emotional reaction. And once you control your reaction, you can look beyond the insult and understand the intention behind the disrespect before deciding what response is truly necessary. Powerful people do not treat every act of disrespect as if it carries the same meaning. They understand that behavior has context, and before choosing a response, they study what may be happening beneath the surface. A careless comment, a moment of frustration, a misunderstanding, and a deliberate attempt to humiliate you are not the same. If you react to all of them with equal force, you lose judgment. But if you ignore every form of disrespect, you weaken your standards. Real strength comes from seeing the difference and responding with clarity rather than pride. When someone speaks to you disrespectfully, the first question is not always, how do I make them regret this? A more powerful question is, what is this behavior trying to accomplish? Sometimes people act disrespectfully because they are insecure. They feel threatened by your confidence, your progress, your independence, or the respect you receive from others. Instead of confronting their insecurity, they try to reduce you. They make jokes at your expense, dismiss your achievements, question your abilities, or speak with unnecessary superiority. Their behavior may be less about your weakness and more about the discomfort your presence creates inside them. Other times, disrespect comes from emotional immaturity. A person may be frustrated and speak without thinking. They may be under pressure, misunderstand your intentions, or express themselves poorly. This does not make the behavior acceptable, but it changes how you approach it. Powerful people do not automatically assume that every mistake is a personal attack. They look for patterns. Has this happened before? Does the person take responsibility when corrected? Do they show genuine respect in other situations? One careless moment may require a calm conversation. Repeated behavior may require a stronger boundary. This ability to observe patterns protects you from two common mistakes. The first is becoming too sensitive and turning every disagreement into disrespect. Not everyone who disagrees with you is trying to diminish you. Not every criticism is an insult. Sometimes another person is offering useful feedback, even if they express it imperfectly. Powerful people can separate disagreement from disrespect because their confidence does not depend on being constantly praised. They listen carefully and ask whether there is truth in what they hear. If there is, they learn. If there is not, they do not allow every opinion to become a threat. The second mistake is making excuses for repeated disrespect. Some people ignore warning signs because they want to keep the peace. They tell themselves, maybe they didn't mean it. Again and again, even when the same behavior continues, they forgive without requiring change. They remain available to people who repeatedly cross the same boundaries. But powerful people understand that intention matters and patterns matter even more. A person may claim they did not mean to hurt you, but if the behavior continues after you have communicated clearly, the pattern becomes information. At that point, you are no longer dealing only with a mistake. You are learning how much respect that person is willing to show your boundaries. Powerful people also recognize that some disrespect is a test. Certain individuals push limits to discover what they can get away with. They make a small insult, dismiss a minor boundary, or speak with subtle contempt. Then they observe your response. If you laugh it off while feeling uncomfortable, remain silent because you fear conflict, or immediately forgive without addressing the behavior, they may interpret that as permission. This does not mean you must become suspicious of everyone. It means you must pay attention when words and actions repeatedly reveal the same pattern. Understanding intention also helps you avoid giving energy to people who are seeking attention. Some individuals provoke because conflict makes them feel powerful. They want an emotional reaction because your anger gives them influence. If you argue endlessly, you may enter the exact game they created. Powerful people recognize when a conversation is no longer about truth or understanding. They know when someone is trying to create chaos rather than solve a problem. In those situations, calm distance may be more effective than endless explanation, but observation is not passive. It is preparation. Once powerful people understand the nature of the disrespect, they choose the response that fits the situation. If the behavior was unintentional, they clarify. If it was careless, they correct it. If it was repeated, they establish a firm boundary. If it was deliberately harmful, they reduce access or leave the situation. They do not use the same response for every person because power is not automatic behavior. Power is the ability to act with awareness. This is why emotional control must come before judgment. If anger controls you, you may assume the worst without evidence. If fear controls you, you may excuse behavior that should never be accepted. But when you are calm, you can see more clearly. You can notice whether the person respects you when there is nothing to gain. You can observe how they behave when you disagree. You can see whether they apologize and change, or apologize only to repeat the same behavior. Over time, patterns reveal character more honestly than promises. You do not need to become obsessed with analyzing every person. The purpose is not paranoia. The purpose is discernment. You are learning to protect your dignity without allowing ego to create unnecessary enemies. You are learning that not every insult deserves a battle, but every repeated violation deserves attention. You are learning to respond according to facts, not assumptions. The powerful person does not ask, how can I win this argument? They ask, what does this behavior reveal, and what response protects my standards? That question prevents you from wasting energy on pride and helps you make decisions that serve your long-term peace. And once you understand the intention and recognize the pattern, you can set clear boundaries without begging anyone to treat you with respect. Powerful people do not beg for respect, chase it, or repeatedly explain why they deserve it. They understand that respect cannot be forced through long arguments or emotional speeches. You can tell someone how you want to be treated, but you cannot control whether they choose to honor that standard. What you can control is your response when they refuse. This is where boundaries become a source of power. A boundary is not a request for someone to change. It is a clear decision about what behavior you will accept and what you will do if that behavior continues. Many people believe that setting a boundary means becoming aggressive. They imagine raising their voice, making threats, or creating fear. But powerful boundaries do not require drama. In fact, the strongest boundaries are often calm, simple, and consistent. You may say, do not speak to me that way. You may say, I am willing to discuss this, but not while you are insulting me. You may say, if this continues, I will end the conversation. These words are not meant to control the other person. They communicate your standard and make your next action clear. The people who struggle most with disrespect often make one mistake. They keep explaining after the boundary has already been understood. They repeat their feelings, defend their position, and search for the perfect words that will finally make the other person care. But if someone clearly understands your boundary and continues crossing it, more explanation may not create more respect. Sometimes the issue is not that they failed to understand. The issue is that they do not expect consequences. Powerful people recognize this difference. They do not confuse repeated explanation with strength. A boundary without action can become a suggestion. If you say, do not treat me this way, but remain in the same situation every time the behavior repeats, the other person may learn that your words have no weight. This does not mean you must punish them or seek revenge. It means your actions must match your standards. If someone continues insulting you, you may end the conversation. If they repeatedly dismiss your time, you may reduce your availability. If they continue violating your trust, you may create distance. The consequence is not designed to hurt them. It is designed to protect you. Powerful people do not announce consequences they are unwilling to follow. Empty threats weaken credibility and create unnecessary conflict. They avoid statements like, asterisk, you will regret this, or asterisk, I will make you pay. Those words often come from wounded pride and may turn the situation into a power struggle. Instead, they focus on what they control, asterisk, if this conversation continues in this way, I am leaving. This is not a threat, it is a decision. You are not trying to force someone to behave. You are deciding what access they receive if they choose not to respect your limits. One reason people fear boundaries is that boundaries may change relationships. When you stop accepting behavior that you once tolerated, others may react. They may say you have changed. They may accuse you of becoming cold, difficult, or disrespectful. This can create guilt, especially if you are used to keeping everyone comfortable. But discomfort does not automatically mean your boundary is wrong. Sometimes people are uncomfortable because they benefited from your lack of one. Your responsibility is not to make every person happy with your standards. Instead, they focus on what they control, asterisk, if this conversation continues in this way, I am leaving. This is not a threat, it is a decision. You are not trying to force someone to behave. You are deciding what access they receive if they choose not to respect your limits. One reason people fear boundaries is that boundaries may change relationships. When you stop accepting behavior that you once tolerated, others may react. They may say you have changed. They may accuse you of becoming cold, difficult, or disrespectful. This can create guilt, especially if you are used to keeping everyone comfortable. But discomfort does not automatically mean your boundary is wrong. Sometimes people are uncomfortable because they benefited from your lack of one. Your responsibility is not to make every person happy with your standards.